Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Guy Fieri. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the show we've been waiting for. Full of insults and insights, highlights and hot topics, bad jokes and cheap values. It's the one-stop shop for everything you don't need but gotta have. So sit down, hold on, call your boss because you're gonna be late. This is the Opie Radio Show. Oh yeah, and Carl.
Do Uncle Carl a favor and go take a pee-pee by the window.
All right, I'm pausing this. You're gonna smoke. I'm gonna pee behind one of these trees. We'll be back. Hey guys, sorry to leave you hanging on the first episode. That was kind of a rookie mistake as I try to figure out this whole podcast thing. I do want to thank you for subscribing to this fine podcast. And if you want to give a few, stars, like five stars would rule. So where were we? That's right. I was outside taking a leak, and now I'm checking for deer ticks. And we're going to go right back into the conversation from Carl's creepy cabin. By the way, at the end of this episode, you're going to find out why Carl is living in this creepy cabin. Also, we get to find out how Carl became so close with Guy Fieri, and then we'll throw in some other stories that hopefully you'll laugh at. Let's get back at it.
Opie Radio.
All right, Carl, I want to thank you for letting me pee outside in peace. The cabin is very tiny. You went to the right, I went to the left, and I grabbed a tree. And I got to be honest with you, man. There's something about, letting your jewels. We're trying to keep it clean on the podcast, everyone. Going for a bigger audience. But anyway, having my jewels out and a nice early spring breeze, God, that's a nice feeling.
I was right there behind the other tree. You're a very handsome man down there.
Oh, I'll always brag about that.
You're a very handsome man.
I have no problem telling people that I got a big one.
You little Prince Valiant down there.
It's not a female in sight, but I'm still telling you that I have a big one. Anyway, so, okay. I'm going to bring it all together because I'm a radio professional. So you and your brother are drastically different, which I find amazing. He went into the medical field and he operates on people that only have a 10% chance of surviving, which got to be good because how do you figure out that person is not doing their job properly?
You don't.
Right? Going into it that most people aren't going to survive. So you look at your superiors going, yeah.
It's like you're a New York Yankee that was hired to strike out.
Right. Right.
Well, he struck out. That's what we pay him for.
And then you're the complete opposite of your brother. Yeah. I would assume, I don't know this. Did you make it all the way to graduation? High school graduation?
Yes and no.
Really?
Yes and no.
He definitely did, obviously, and went all the way to medical
high school in a
school.
week.
Wow. Was he like a Doogie Howser?
Total Doogie Howser. Except that chick didn't come through his bedroom window. He was just Doogie, no Hauser.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And Doogie did not like the girl coming through the window.
Doogie didn't. Hauser did. Doogie did not.
Doogie was a great actor because
he had this girl.
Yeah.
Her name was Christine.
Okay.
She was half Irish and half Japanese.
Wait, who's this?
My brother.
Oh, another one.
This was the first one.
Right.
She was a bona fide smoke show. And I loved looking at this girl. Green eyes, but with the Asian face.
Nice.
The perfect jade black hair. I mean, everything was... I used to sit around and just be creepy and smell her hair. It's like, what's your brother doing? I'm like, loving you.
Right.
You don't like people loving you from afar?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my God.
I was the worst kid ever. So, loved her. He loved her. I think it's the only girl he really 100% head over heels.
Yeah.
Did everything for this girl, and she was fine with it. And she liked nerds because she was a nerd too. She's an attorney now. She's a big attorney in D.C. with the last administration. Mm-hmm. But my brother would listen to my mother too much. and my mother didn't like her. And my mother didn't like her for it's an embarrassing reason, but I fought with my mother all the time. But my mother was selfish in the point where she was like, she wanted Latin babies.
Oh, she's one of those.
Yeah, man.
For real?
For real. For real. I mean, she's not going to be happy. Well, she can't read. She's not going to figure out how to podcast. But
you know what? I mean, I'll play the other side of that.
Right.
That's not uncommon.
In her generation,
obviously.
no, not at all.
I got a Jewish girl story, if it makes you feel better. No, it's just quick because if your mom does get mad at you, then she sees that I'm helping her out a little bit. So I was in college at Geneseo, and this girl came up. She was visiting one of my floor mates, and we hit it off at Geneseo, drank, fooled around, had a really good time. There was some chemistry there. She's from Long Island. I'm from Long Island. So I go home for the summer, and we exchange numbers. I'm like, yeah, maybe we could get together when I get home. So I call her up excited, and I go to her house to pick her up. I don't have any money, but I'm planning a nice little dinner date and a movie, and hopefully we'll fool around some more, right? And so I walk into this house in Dix Hills, which is Jew Central. Very Jewy. And I love the Jews, but very Jewy. I walk into the living room. The mom's there. And stereotypically, there's plastic on the couch. She's in some kind of, now my memory's a little shot as far as thinking back this far, but pretty much I want to say she had like a bathrobe on, definitely had curlers in her hair.
Sounds like
Nails were definitely done. I remember all that. And she had a nice kind of like martini type cocktail. And I picked Aileen up early. It was about 5 in the summer. So it's like today, really bright and sunny, right? I walk in, Aileen, this is her mom, goes, hey, Mom, this is Greg that I was telling you about. She looks up she's watching TV. She looks up from the TV, takes one look at me. Carl.
Knows you're not from the tribe.
Knows I'm not a Jew.
Right.
And doesn't say hi.
Of course not.
Looks at her daughter like, really?
Really? You're going to bring this unwashed?
And goes back to watching the TV and sipping on her cocktail.
Perfect.
Aileen, in front of her own mom, awkwardly is like, all right, well, I'll be home at whatever, midnight or whatever the heck. And we walked out of this house. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess we'll have fun today and I'll never see her again. And I never did.
Yeah, well, that's
never did.
My brother with this girl.
So I'm defending your mom a little bit. It's not uncommon. I mean, this woman obviously wanted, little Jewish babies.
Right. And it was so funny because my mom, she brought this old racism from the Caribbean. The Caribbean's a very racist place, and people don't really understand that. Here, people think racism is black and white.
Right. Racism is across the board, and people don't understand that.
And the poorer you are, the more the racist and the more people are spiteful and hurtful towards each other.
Right.
Whereas I'm from Cuban descent, but I was raised here. Right. So I didn't understand the nuance between my mom hating the people from the next town in Cuba. Right. I'm like, how are you racist against that lady that looks just like you?
And what would her answer be?
It was just years. It was like the Capulets and the Montagues. It was just no one knew why they hated each other, but it's just you grew up and your grandfather said that those people suck.
From town to town.
Yeah, Hatfield and McCoy stuff. Like it was just and it was a crazy juxtaposition for me to be like, okay. I'm fighting racism in the United States where everyone's calling me Paco. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then I come home and my mom's an elitist. It was just so strange. Right? And
makes sense. So I'm defending your mom, and I understand it because it absolutely is everywhere.
It was crazy. And my mother did not like this girl, did not like my brother's girlfriend. And she cut her off at every corner, everything, until they broke up. And that's the first time I saw my brother truly heartbroken. Man. And after that, I don't think he ever recovered from that. I think after that, every relationship was a transaction. Right. A very pragmatic, is this good for us? Is this good for the family? Sucks. Yeah, it's a way that I never knew how to live.
Because it's hard to fall in love, if you think about it. It's not that easy.
It's the worst business proposition.
But I mean, you fall in love and then you got your parents or your mom saying, yeah, you're in love, but
Listen, I remember when
you got to fall in love with one of these.
Yeah, I remember when I met Marie, my wife. She said, "This guy, old school guy from Brooklyn, one of the most racist, funniest stories I ever heard." He goes, "Carlo, let me talk to you for a second." He goes, "You dating a CG? That means Sicilian." I said, "Yeah, she's beautiful. All right, good for you, huh?" That's the setup. Here it comes.
Oh boy.
He goes, "You know what marrying a CG is like, right?" I said, "No." He says, "I'll tell you." He says, "You see all these people over here celebrating you when they come to your wedding? You know why? They never seen a talking goat before."
Whoa.
I said, "What?"
Whoa.
He goes, "That's why they're here. They come to your wedding because they never seen a goat talk before. That's a Sicilian."
What the hell?
He goes, "Guess what? When you take the goat home, you're going to realize goats got nothing good to say." Enjoy your day, son.
Wow.
I said, "Thanks a lot, bro." Wow. Open bar, by the way.
There you go. So,
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
all right, so now the question, which was, God, probably a half hour ago at this point, was how did you get into cooking?
Right.
And so your grandfather, I remember.
Yeah.
See how good I'm good at this, bro.
Bro.
You know I'm good at this. Look at me patting myself on the back.
Oh, and that sunburn skin cancer.
Oh, I get it burnt off me all the time. So your grandfather goes to you and basically says, to bring it all the way around, you're not like your brother who's very book smart. He's going to be a doctor. They had no doubt he was going to be a doctor at an early age, I'm assuming. Okay. And went to you and said, look, you're not going to be that. So that's how you got into cooking, though?
So my grandfather told the Chinese restaurant down the street where I lived to give me a job. So at 12 years old, I started making egg rolls after school. And that was the beginning of it. That was the beginning of it all.
Wait, did your grandfather believe in you, though?
My grandfather knew.
And what did you want to do before cooking?
I think I was too young to know what I wanted to do.
And so
I was kind of I would mimic whatever my brother would. So it probably looked ridiculous to them because my brother's like, "I'm going to be a doctor," and I'm there with like 3 boogers out of my nose. "I'm going to be a doctor too." They're like, "Yeah, no, man, no. You've been eating paint chips for the last hour. You're not going to be a doctor of anything."
Compared to your brother, you're like the third version of Michael Keaton in that movie Multiplicity, or whatever it was called.
I can't explain to you the disparity between my brother and I growing up.
Right.
My parents, I felt it as a young child, looked at me like I was handicapped. Like, that's how much smarter this
Were your
kid
parents smart?
No. Well, my father was an accountant.
Well, that's smart.
But in Colombia.
That's boring smart, no offense.
Money laundering. It's like 5 equals 100.
Okay, all right.
Next.
All right. And was your mom a stay-at-home mom? Okay.
You know.
So your grandfather didn't really believe in you, or wanted just to push you in a different direction? He had to have known. Sorry, I'm going to answer my own question, I think, but he had to know because I know you. You know, right. we're making believe here a little bit, but I know a lot about Carl Ruiz. He must have realized that you were street smart and smart in a different way than your brother.
But I think my grandfather helped me out of fear. My grandfather told me later on in life he thought I was going to be killed on the street.
For what?
Because he's like, "Carl, if there's 3 kids in the park and one is a full-blown criminal, that's the one you go to." He's like, "You just gravitate towards all things
you always
risky."
like the bad boys.
Yeah.
The bad boys.
He's like, he's like, "Since I remember you, you've been stealing things. He goes, you were 2 years old and all you wanted to do was hide. You'd sneak up on people and you would hit other little kids." Like, he's like, "You're that person. So you have to get busy. Right. If not, you're going to get dead."
Oh, so he was fearful.
He was fearful.
So he's like, maybe, you could start cooking at least and maybe move down another road.
And he's
because you're very motivated.
I am very
and
motivated.
I think that is something that people realize at a very early age.
Right.
If they're motivated, if they're lazy. If
I
they're
wasn't lazy, but
so he knew you were motivated and just knew he had to direct you a little bit.
He basically said, he's like, you got to get this kid a job at night because if he's walking around at night, he's going to get killed.
Right. So you were making egg rolls.
So I was making egg rolls, and then
did you like it?
I liked it. I liked the camaraderie. I liked the exoticness of just hanging out with a bunch of, Cantonese dudes.
Right.
And they liked me because I was a hard worker. And I listened to everything, and I could absorb it, and I had good hands. I could make stuff.
Right.
And I didn't ask a lot of questions. I didn't make a lot of excuses. And they liked that. They liked that I was tough. And they used to always say, like, you're tough for a Western person. You're tough.
Right.
You're not tough like us, but you're close.
Where were you living at this point?
Brooklyn.
Oh, Brooklyn. Oh, okay. And you didn't call it in. You worked hard right away?
Every day. I loved it.
You loved it right
because
off the bat.
I saw that the hierarchy in the kitchen was all based on hard work. So the respect that you got, where you sat during family meal, if they made you clean green beans during dinner, it's if you worked hard. So I would see myself move up the table, the hierarchy. Next thing you know, I'm with the main with the wok guys, and I would help them, and they would help me. They would be like, "Hey, Carl," like in broken English, "where we buy weed?"
Oh, really?
I'd be like, "No problem."
And how old were you?
12, 13.
You know where to buy weed at 12?
Doesn't everybody know where?
Oh, bro.
And it's just we had that relationship where they trusted me. Mm-hmm. And that's where I learned a lot of stuff.
Was it a nice restaurant or is it just a hole in the wall? Dump.
Dirty dump.
When did you get the bug like, I want to do this for a living?
To be honest with you, I never got it.
Would you rather be doing something else?
I don't know anything else. I started at such a young age.
Yeah, and
it was so comfortable.
Yeah.
That I think I liked the lifestyle around it. At one point, that's when I did know when I had the bug. I was dating this girl, this Cuban princess. My mother was happy now. I was in my late teens. My mother was ecstatic. Beautiful Cuban girl from a wealthy family. And everybody in the house was like, yes. Her father owned 2 supermarkets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this girl loved me head over heels. And she was a great girl. And one day, she says, "Carl, why don't you come work for my father and leave the restaurant business?" I said, I don't know. I told her, I don't think I can do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to leave my boys. You know what I mean? But this was still before I got any notoriety or before I was anybody, before I had any, before I had a calling card, before people knew I was the can opener. So I said, maybe I'll give it a shot. My mother's like, you should do it, because to her, it's like unifying the families. Now the supermarket family and the Ruiz family are coming together. And this is all she ever wanted. This is what my mother wanted.
Exactly.
Little Cuban dynasty.
Right.
She should go to a doctor. So I'm like, all right. First day, Opie, I get there. And I walk into the supermarket. And he hands me a leaf blower. Right? And he goes, "Do me a favor." And he starts treating me like I'm not dating your daughter. He's starting to treat me like an animal. Right? Now, I come from a level of hierarchy in kitchens where I'm pretty high.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm paying my own way. I pay my own thing. And you know what I mean? I'm my own person already because I've been making money since I was 12. So right. I don't really listen to people that long before I take off. He gives me the leaf blower. He starts it on my back like I'm Buck Rogers. All this thing's, and he goes, "Go blow the driveway. Get all the junk out of there. And if you see any needles and stuff, just throw them in the garbage because it's in a bad neighborhood." The minute he walked inside, I put the leaf blower on. I got in my car.
And that was it.
And
really?
That was it. After 5-year relationship with the girl, everything, that was it.
That was your crossroads.
Everybody's calling me.
That was your crossroads.
Done. I said, I will never do that again.
Wow.
What was that all about?
So then fast forward. So then you moved on from the Chinese restaurant?
Moved from the Chinese restaurant. Then I started working in higher end. Then I met this guy's name was Steven Santoro, who passed away this year of cancer. He was one of the best chefs I've ever met in my life. He was a CIA instructor, which CIA Culinary Institute of America. And he took a liking to me. And he says to me, you ready to work hard, kid? I said, yeah. He's like, I'm going to make you one of the best.
How old?
Now I was 19.
Oh, so now fast forward 7 years. So I would assume those 7 years you were in and out of all sorts of
kitchens and
gotcha
unnotables.
Right.
Scooping ice cream, but it's always in the
right.
kitchen. But this is the guy. He was like my Mickey to Rocky. You know what I mean? He's the one that made me a machine. And I went home and I said to my mother and father, I said, I want to go to culinary school. My father goes, that's for gay people.
Did he really say that?
Yeah, you're done. That's for girls. You're not doing that. We're not paying for that.
How'd you get past that?
So I got a job.
I got to stop you.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Ryan Seacrest. Life comes at you fast, which is why it's important to find some time to relax. A little you time. Enter Chumba Casino. With no download required, you can jump on anytime, anywhere for the chance to redeem some serious prizes. So treat yourself with Chumba Casino and play over 100 online casino-style games, all for free. Go to ChumbaCasino.com to collect your free welcome bonus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
I went into radio, obviously,
right.
So at 18, which was like, you gonna what?
Right.
And most parents, this is why I'm stopping you, because
right.
it kills me to hear this, and I'm one of the lucky ones, and you're one of the lucky
right.
ones. So I told my parents, I want to, I don't want to ever wear a suit. No offense to people that wear suits. I don't want to wear a tie. It's not for me. To this day, when I have to put a tie on for a wedding or something, I'm just like, when can I take this off, right? So I went to my parents with my dream. I want to be in radio, maybe TV. Right. And I was scared, even though my parents were pretty open about it in general. But still, you're finally coming to them with your dream. And my dad was like, go for it. He's like, you're going to work a really long time in your life. Find something you love to do. Yes. He couldn't have been more awesome about it. Yes. My mom, definitely cool as well, but was always like, well, make sure you have something to fall back on. Right. I was at Geneseo at the time. I'm like, all of a sudden, classroom stuff didn't mean anything to me. I'm like, I couldn't wait for classes to end so I could go to the radio station and start doing this, right? But my mom's like, maybe computers. It was mid 80s. Computers were coming, so I got a computer minor. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? Right. But my point is, I had a lot of friends growing up that had dreams similar to mine, whether it was like, I want to be a race car driver, right. I want to be an astronaut, I want to be a musician, all the fields. Right. And their parents shut them down and said, oh, that's cute, but hell nah. You're going to the biggest university for, the career path that is really hot right now. Right. I'm trying to be vague because I don't want people to know I'm talking about them. And I saw it in their faces. They were so defeated at 18 years old. Their path was already made for them. Like, no, my parents don't believe in me. Now I got to do what they're telling me because I'm still under their roof. And they did the university to the safe job that had a decent living. Now you have to buy a house. Now you got to get married. Now you have to have kids. And I see some of my old friends from the past. They're fucking miserable.
Let me tell you something.
Miserable. So I had to stop you there. Yeah. Your dad basically was like, you're not going to culinary school.
Like, that's a school for maids.
Right. So so was your mom the supportive one, or were you
my
just
mother tucked in behind my father because she didn't feel that it was prestigious.
So
and what really hurt was I was under the shadow of a kid who was on a trajectory that was
exactly
academic.
Yeah.
And to them, remember to South American, Cuban families and all these families, advancing the last name, advancing your family stature is a big thing. So they didn't know how to detach their dreams or their broken dreams because their dreams were stillborn.
Yeah.
Because they moved to another country because their country sucked.
Right.
Basically.
Right.
So they had to go into manual labor. My dad was an accountant. Now he's a tire man. My mom was a princess in Cuba. My grandfather was an engineer.
Oh, my God.
And now she has to sew clothing in Union City, New Jersey. So all these things that were stillborn in their life, they throw them onto you. Now, my brother was a pack mule. He was able to take all these dreams and carry them.
Right.
I had no part of it.
God, you just hit another thing that is awesome. Like when you're in a cab in New York City and you actually talk to the cabbies, most New Yorkers are like, I ain't talking to that scum. Right. I try to talk to everybody. It's in my blood.
I don't like those people.
No. I love your honesty. But when you do talk to the cab drivers, exactly what you just said. I'm from Nigeria. I was in medical school in Nigeria, and I'm in the back seat. Like, how the hell are you driving a cab then?
That creates an unbelievable level of frustration.
But you have prestige in the country you're from. Wow. But the country sucks. You move to America, which is a much better country.
But your position socially is
drops dramatically.
Wow.
All right. So how do you get past the fact your dad's like, no, I'm not. I don't want you to go to culinary school.
So I don't take no for an answer, right? In life, I think what I've learned in my 43 years of being alive is there's two types of people.
You're only 43?
Yeah, but like Chef 43. I'm 112. I'm like Yoda. So I believe there's two types of people in the world. And this is just from me living. There's survivors and there's victims. Same problem, two different takes.
Right.
There's people that something bad happens to them and they're like, everybody hates me, the world hates me, and they're done. They're done. Dead flower. It ain't happening. And then there's survivors that said, oh yeah? Oh really? Let's rock and roll. So I was lucky to be a survivor, the way that I look at things. And my father said, that's gay. I'm like, gay? Where did you get gay from? I'm like, Dad, most chefs are male. He's like, yeah, gay. Right. I'm like, all right, this is going nowhere.
But what did he want you to be?
Anything
but
professional.
A lawyer, an accountant,
how like parents,
doctor.
When your kid really sucks,
you
hear the same thing. He's going to be a lawyer because he's good at arguing. Shh. Him trying to convince you that he wants a chocolate chip cookie is not going to get him in front of the Supreme Court, Mom. You know what I mean? So, enough, right? So they had all these paths for me, and they kept downgrading as they started realizing how stupid I was. They'd be like, you should be a doctor. Or a paramedic, or maybe a nurse. You know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe we should clean the hospital. You know what I mean? But they still wanted me to be in that level. And what I did was I talked to Steve Santoro, and I said, "Listen, chef." He goes, "You work for me for a year, and I'm going to sign."
Wait, you weren't working for him?
No, this is when I started. This is like a week started for him. 2 weeks. He goes.
Wait, so he hired you as a chef?
He hired me as a salad guy.
Salad guy, but he saw something in.
And he says, "You're one of them. You're one of us."
He knew.
And he said to me, "Listen, I'm going to get you an externship in France and Italy in a year. You got to save up money. You have to work here in that year for free." I said, "How the hell am I going to do that?" He goes, "You want it? Figure it out." So I go to my parents. I said, "Hey," they said, "Working for free ain't working. So we can't help you."
Oh man!
So I said,
driving me nuts today.
So I said, okay.
As soon as you said that, I got it.
Yeah, working for free ain't working.
No, but
they're like, that's white people hobby stuff.
No, but I get it, and you got it, right?
So I said, okay. So
like it was invaluable that year to you.
It was invaluable.
It was going to set up everything else.
It didn't matter to them.
Okay.
So what I did was, took me about a month, and I would look at the classifieds in newspapers and stuff, and I saw a place in Elmwood Park that needed a gas station attendant from 5 a.m. till 3 p.m. Now the restaurant shift started at 3:30 in Passaic, New Jersey. This restaurant called Dish. So I got that job. So I would work at the gas station all day and then cook all night for a year for free.
Wow.
And I did it.
So that's a long day.
Off to Europe. And then I came back badass, Right. And what made me badass wasn't anything I learned, Opie.
Wait, so who sent you to Europe?
Steve.
He said, now you're going to culinary school. Did he pay for it?
Yeah, all set.
Did he really?
Yeah, all set.
Because he knew you worked for free for a year. And it's like, all right, this guy wants it.
He calls up and he got me. It's not a culinary school. It's like externship programs. He didn't believe in culinary school per se. He thought it was stupid. He's like, we're like blacksmiths. You have to learn from the best, and I did. And he he sponsored my way in because you can't get into these kitchens unless you know somebody.
Right.
It's a big hierarchy.
Right.
So I breezed right through. And to this day, you know what? I didn't learn that much in Europe. I didn't learn that much under Steve. What taught me everything was working at that gas station and then humping it.
Of course.
That's what made me tough.
Totally get it.
You know what I mean?
Totally get it.
The rest, baking a duck.
Right.
That took me an hour.
Right.
But to know that someone can't stop you, that's what changes everything.
Right. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't know, the people that do know you from the Food Network and everything else, like you're a trained chef.
Yeah,
like highly trained. Like
highly trained, yeah.
Like the echelons of your profession. Because you don't play it.
I don't.
You're down and dirty, man. When someone sees you, you're down and dirty.
I'm a fighter. The other day I'm at this, here up by the cabin, there's a local bar. And I'm sitting at the local bar. And this kid, maybe, I don't know, 25 years old, sends me a shot. Take the shot. He comes around. He goes, oh, I saw you on Grocery Games. The kid's drunk. He goes, I don't think you're that good. I said, you don't? Well, fine. He goes, I can cook better than you.
Ugh.
I said, where do you live? Right now. Let's do it.
Yeah, kid.
1 a.m, I'm at his house.
Come on.
Yeah. I'm ready to take him to the bar. You talk to Roy, you can tell him. Everyone at the bar showed up to the house.
Really?
Because everyone around here is like, that's the kid from the Food Network. He is going, I'm in this little town. They're like, Carl is going to go against this whatever name at his house.
Right.
I get to his house. The kid starts pulling out chicken. He's going to do like a chicken franchise. He's shaking like a leaf. He sees me there. I got my knife on my belt. He's like, what is this monster? And I'm just standing there just staring at him. I'm like, you go first. I'll cook second. He goes, but there's not going to be any food left. I'm like, whatever you got in your cupboard, I'm going to win. Not even 5 minutes into it. He turns around and he goes, I'm too nervous. I can't do it. I go, don't ever do that again.
Bravo.
Take me back to the goddamn bar.
Bravo.
And the whole town's like, yeah, you're a punk. You know what I mean? But you got to put up or shut up.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And that's one thing even with the Food Network. When I started the Food Network, and that's why I think the work ethic is everything. When I started the Food Network, they'd call you.
Well, you know what? Hold that for a second.
Sure.
Because first of all, on a future episode, I want to hear about your time in Europe because I'm sure you got stories to tell.
My God.
We're doing broad strokes today, but that's something I definitely want to focus on.
That was awesome.
But so obviously the Food Network, you got to the Food Network because of Guy Fieri.
Absolutely.
And I met you because of Guy Fieri.
Yes.
Because I'm trying to bring this all around. How did you meet Guy Fieri?
So I was the chef at this very famous, busy restaurant on 14th Street in New York City called Son Cubano. And it was a Cuban restaurant, and we were doing about $250,000 a week. It's a lot of volume.
And what were you there?
I was executive chef.
Executive chef. And how'd you get that gig?
I got it.
Was it your first job after Europe?
No. It was my third job after Europe.
So how old are you now? Ish.
14 years ago.
So late 20s?
Late 20s.
Okay.
And I'm living in the city. I'm making $150,000 a year. I'm living on 79th in New York, bone single. And I have access to every restaurant after it's closed in New York City. Do you understand how fierce my dating life was? They used to call me the Black Widow. So we used to have, back then, I used to have a network of maitre d's and GMs.
Right.
We'd call each other. Because there'd be waitresses that just got into New York City. So I'd be like, we got 3 new ones. They're from California.
Oh.
This is their first job. Chef, why don't you come in for a drink tonight? And I would come in, and I was the icebreaker. And I would come in and be like, hi. And they'd be like, oh, hi. I'm like, oh, and I had a business card and everything, and I was young, and I had hair. And I would talk to them, and then just like, oh, let's show you around New York City. So we had this influx of girls. It was whatever you wanted to do. We could go to Yankee Stadium after it was closed. We could we'd be on a seaplane going to the Hamptons because you knew everybody.
Right.
I'd be drinking $5,000 bottles of wine.
Jesus.
We'd be at the 21 Club at 4 o'clock in the morning partying.
Jesus.
Like, it was whatever we wanted.
Right.
The world was our oyster, and all we were was a network of chefs. And someone would call me like, "Oh, I need a reservation for my wife. It's my anniversary. I need to get into the hardest restaurant in New York City." Call the Cuban. "Hey, how are you? Hey, Carl, can you do me this favor?" "Yes." What would that yes get you? It would get me a free weekend in the Hamptons. It would get me to use your house or boat in Montauk. It was no money was traded, but just this respect and this, you could do whatever you wanted. And it was some of the best years of my life. It was like I lived like I made $5 million. Without it. I would stay at the Plaza.
How did you survive that?
I think I died. I might be a ghost.
I mean, my partying years were in Buffalo, New York, Rochester, New York, and I say that thank God that's where I did my heavy partying. In Manhattan, I would have no way would I would have survived.
Opie, I've heard every story.
Were you opening up restaurants at night after the fact to have parties and stuff?
Night. That was what we did.
Because I heard something in there and I wanted to tell a quick story. So you know my brother Brett, who owns F.H. Riley's. Yeah. That's why I think me and you hit it off, because you remind me of my brother a lot, and he's a hard worker like you.
He's a tough dude, man.
And he had the tough path. He went into
everything hurts.
Pretty much what your story is more or less his.
We all have the same. It's funny.
He started young and had to work his way up, and now he owns a great restaurant in Huntington. But he fired his twin brother because of opening up restaurants at night. So my brother is working at Friendly's. I mean, now he's well established, has his own place, but he's slaving away for everybody else like we've all had to do. And he's literally like a rock star for Friendly's, but not being paid. But, he pretty much is running the joint. And he hires my brother because my brother is like, no offense to his twin, but I mean, he did very well with his life as well, but a fuck up at the time. So my brother's trying to take care of him. He's like, I don't know, after the restaurant closes, we need a cleaning guy. You mop the floors, you clean this and that, clean the bathrooms.
We call them porters.
Right, exactly. And my brother Quinn needed a gig, so he's like, all right, and he takes the gig. And my brother Brett, like you, because he has good instincts and he's street smart, it's like, man, something's not right. Something's not right. So he goes up 25A to this Friendly's that's still there to this day, even though they split into it, two establishments. And there's my brother having an after party at Friendly's.
That must have been a good
after party. He's firing up the grill. He's not a cook.
I want to be invited to one of those.
Scooping the ice cream and making the cheeseburgers.
I want to be there so bad. Those are the best parties in the world.
Because back then we all drank in Huntington, and now my brother, he's like, the bars are closing, but I got the keys to Friendly's, so he's having this crazy ass after party, and my other brother being the responsible one had to go in, and he fired his own twin brother for having these after parties.
Yeah, you have to. Sometimes sometimes people got to get hit,
right?
But the thing is it was funny. So we used to have a thing called high. So you're gonna love this, Opie. So when you control an after party, there comes a point where the girl that you like or whatever, or the guy, like whatever side you're on, they give in. They realize that you're running the whole thing. So we used to call it the high moment. So I'll explain to you what a high moment is. And it's one of the best feelings in the world. I would throw this party, go to my friend's restaurant. Hey, Carl, what's up? So this girl, you've been hitting on her for 2 hours at a regular club where you got a free bottle of champagne with a sparkler, but it was nobody's birthday, right? And we're drinking champagne and stuff, and then, it's closed. Where are we going to go? So it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I want drugs or whatever. Everybody's there. Everybody who's bad, it's like Misfit Island. Everybody that's awful is in this party.
Yeah.
Crazy DJ. Danny Taliglia. He's here. Everybody. And we're all in this West, Village restaurant, 4 in the morning, music as loud as you could imagine. Everybody sat dancing and everything. And then the girl starts to finally realize, you run the show. So it's time. You're the guy. You're the alpha.
Right.
So I would be sitting in the corner, and I would feel it coming. And I would go sit at the corner of the bar, get my little bourbon, and here it comes. She would come and she'd be like, hi. Got it. Close the deal. All right, guys, have a good night. See you later. Like, you got the high? Got the high. See you later.
That's awesome.
And that was it.
That's it.
And then you would have to cut it off there.
Right.
Because if not, you'd be partying there till 7 o'clock in the morning, and guess what? Girls are like vampires. Once they see the light, you're done.
Yeah.
They don't want it.
That's it.
You gotta move in the dark. So
You gotta move in the dark.
So yeah, I'm not a looker either. You know what I mean? I look really bad at 6 a.m. So once you got that high, we lived, and it was just this language that we spoke, and it was great. And you know what? It was so fun. No one got hurt. It was all pros. We all had a career, so it wasn't like you'd force yourself on people. It was all natural. Yeah. Everybody wanted to be there.
Right.
Everybody wanted to hang out.
That's awesome.
And then someone would make a mistake, like every once in a while, like a GM would marry a high,
right?
And then all hell would break loose.
How bad are you bummed that we had to share the one beer you have in your cabin here?
Lights. I mean, I'm not 100% happy you drank
Light.
Well, you know
what else you got?
We should go down to the bar.
Well, no, we're gonna finish. I gotta find another tree. I know you're dying for a cigarette.
I am.
I asked how you met Guy Fieri.
Why did you drink this so much?
What do you mean? We shared it.
I wanted to open it because usually you take like a little baby sip and you're...
No, it's really good.
I know, that's not good. I mean, this is a hard beer to get.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You're
cool.
bummed?
Yeah, it's cool.
Are you kidding me? We were drinking the Founders CBS Imperial Stout brewed with chocolate and coffee, aged in maple syrup, bourbon barrels. You know what? I tasted all of that. Because most of the time when you
That's
know,
cool, man. It's empty. That's cool. No, I mean, stop talking about it. It's like talking about somebody that died.
No, but I'm going to explain some food knowledge to you for
so
once.
Fast. You never drank it this fast.
Half the time when some, they describe a beer like it has a hint to this or that.
This one is actually...
I tasted all that. Exactly. Because half the time, like, that's just BS. It's
Founders.
just,
I don't think Founders makes a bad beer.
It was excellent. So I asked you how you met Guy Fieri, which leads to us meeting, and it'll be a great way to wrap up this first episode of the Opie Radio podcast or show or whatever the hell we're calling it. So you go do a cigarette. I'm going to find another tree.
I'll watch you,
and we're going to wrap this up.
Let's do it.
All right.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? If you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. Choose from hundreds of social casino style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.